recorded.
All right, we're going to call this meeting to order. Stand for the pledge of allegiance, please. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hey. Patterson. Ms. Beaupre?
Here.
Ms. Hefner?
Here.
Mr. Richmond? Mr. Engard?
Here.
Mr. Bozat? Mr. Slack?
I know Mr. Bozat and Mr. Richmond are busy with fair, so I know they won't be here. I'm guessing Eric is stopped by that training, so because I had to go around, so we'll see. We're going to get started. Agenda topic: Wood County Park District grant.
And just amendments.
Got anything that you want to go over on those, or just we're adding those?
Yeah, I wouldn't say there's anything too different about the agenda. Those are just marked there just for clarification.
Okay.
That there were a couple adjustments made. A lot of that was just because these are new things we're putting together as we are going throughout the week. So
Okay, so these are under the other headings.
Yep.
So we'll get to them.
And these are all available on the digital packet available to residents online. So as we always make the changes, they're always available to see in real time. So.
Okay, thank you. All right, then we will head on to public safety. Tim?
The school event agreement?
Yeah, real quick. School event agreement, the Canon officer agreement. I've been kind of third person. Bob and the police chief have been doing most of the legwork and going back and forth on those discussions. The reason why they're on here is want to make sure council is aware that they will be going for formal motion approval next Tuesday to go forward with the program. So, but I'm very happy that I think you guys are too, that we'll have our officers back in the school for school events, that is, football and basketball and all that. Gives our officers a little more cash in their pocket, but also get them out in front of the public, community policing, and it's overall a great idea.
So will this be an emergency since it's...
No, just a formal motion.
Okay.
Bob said both can be done via a motion.
Okay.
So
awesome.
that's the best way to go forward anyways.
All right. K9?
Yeah, it's the same thing. Formal motion. It's an agreement with the Canon officer to pretty much stay, from what I understand, or she has to pay back pretty much a certain amount of money.
Okay.
When is the K-9 officer supposed to start?
That's always
say
up
the
in the air. I can't remember when the police chief said, I wish Tom was here, but the officer and the dog would start, but I would assume soon. Keep hearing soon, but I can't give you a date.
Well, I think she was under training, right? And then the dog had puppies, so I think that's part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't followed up with that in a little while.
They got that family leave act.
How long's our paternity leave?
So these puppies are our future canines.
That's right.
So, and I think you're thinking about one of them, I believe.
I have not heard back on how to get one.
Okay. But you did reach out to
Richard.
Yeah.
And he was supposed to give Kelly, is that her name?
Kelly Ford, yes.
My phone number, and she's never reached out, so I have no idea.
Okay. In due time. But maybe we can rent his dog in the future for our next thing.
They're trained up?
Yeah, train him up.
All
Good
right.
security dog, right?
Tim, did you have anything else that you wanted to discuss?
Yeah.
All right, any questions for Tim? All right. We're going to head on to public utilities. Eric's not here, but...
I really don't have any updates on anything. I mean, we've just been staying busy. Nothing really broke down lately, so we did finally get the answering service working properly. We're able to call into our auto dialers on alarms now. We had one that we couldn't, which I was unaware we couldn't until we tried. Because for whatever reason it had the same number and it shouldn't have. But that's taken care of now, so at least when an alarm goes off, they're not calling my guys every 5 minutes and we're getting charged for that every time they call, so we should have that all taken care of. Other than that, don't really treated the reservoir Reservoir 2 last week for the first time this year. We'll be treating Reservoir 1 tomorrow. Algae counts are starting to come up a little bit, but nothing too alarming at this point. Haven't had any complaints about anything yet, so I think we're doing all right.
And, CSO project was completed?
Yep.
Satisfactorily?
Yep, that has been done. I do have paperwork that I have to fill out for the EPA by September 1st, so I'll get that taken care of this month. That's basically in our permit. In order for us to do what we've done, we have to say what our next step is. So our next step now will be doing some flow testing to see where the I&I is coming from when we get rain, and then kind of branch out from there to see what areas need to be fixed. So next year will be flow testing. Year after that, if not next year, we'll probably do camera work to make sure field tiles and stuff like that's not tied in to our sanitary on the outer parts of town that wasn't done when we done the sewer separation inside the village limits. So still working on those things. Hopefully we get those things taken care of, and then that will help our plan out tremendously, especially under rain conditions.
Anything else?
No, not unless Eric asks.
No.
Okay.
Eric just loves the training.
Yeah.
I have a question. We had talked about a program last fall, and forgive me because I don't remember what the name of it was, but it was where it would notify customers if their water was leaking.
Yep.
Has
So,
any update on that?
Right now, currently, I just spoke with the people from Neptune, and currently, right now, we're still at about a 12-hour window. They are building a new prog. I don't know nothing about networking and
Sure.
none of that. So, which basically I'm assuming is going to be another server, and then they're going to move people off of certain servers onto different servers. So that should speed that time back up.
Okay.
But at this point, everything's set up and ready to go when and if they ever get their stuff fixed. Because in my opinion, 12 hours is not worth the money that it's going to cost. So currently, right now, that's where we stand, and they don't really have a time frame on doing that when I talked to Corey 2 weeks ago.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you keeping up to
Yep.
date on it because I'm.
Well, I know as soon as I log on to try to look at somebody's leaks.
Right.
I mean, I see a 12-hour window. I mean, so where when we first got it, I mean, it was within like an hour.
Right.
So somebody says, hey, do we have it fixed? I'll call you back in an hour, let you know.
Right.
Now we don't have that. So, I don't know, maybe all these data centers going up everywhere is gonna help it or not, I don't know. So hopefully.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any questions for Brian or
I
Eric?
need a quick statement. I'm going to segue into the water leak stuff. As you should all be aware now, read my email, Chloe did resign. So we have been in the look for a new utility clerk. We've already had one round of interviews, and we have a second round this week for two people.
Correct.
So hopefully we have someone for recommendation to hire on August 11th for you guys. But in the meantime, Brian and his crew are the ones, Paulette, are the ones actually checking for water leaks at this time.
Okay.
But Mason has been stepping it up big time, taking a lot of those front desk responsibilities, especially also Justin. So it's been pretty chaotic around the office, especially with April gone half a day today, even though it's been wild. But to make sure everyone's aware, and again, also in my email, again, I apologize for not letting you guys know sooner than when I did.
Okay. We won't hang you out this time.
Yeah.
And we appreciate everyone in the office.
Completely slipped my mind. I know I talked to Rick Mozak because he's technically in charge of personnel, but I didn't think about the rest of council in an appropriate time.
Okay. All right, I do want to back up. Hunker, I want to apologize. Did you have anything that you wanted to share with us for?
Oh, everything's going good. Just mid-year stuff, testing trucks, air packs and stuff, but other than that,
Everything's good?
yeah.
Good job. Okay. Apologize for skipping over you.
Oh, you're fine.
All right, any questions for Eric or Brian? And we'll move on to Public Works. Paula? Go ahead.
You want me to go ahead? Can I pass it back to you? Okay.
Sure.
No. Friday, we met with Phil Walter III of Cleary Construction. He pretty much told us what Morton Construction told us, and Rex Huffman told us, and what I've been reading about, basically, we have to have an architecture, well, a criteria architect, that is, for this building, before we go out for bid. It's Ohio procurement law. You gotta have something, so we put together the bid document and then go forward with that. So this is the first step. I have a draft email here, here on your desk, basically saying, hey, can we revise, get a new proposal, revise it to just do public works building, with one side of it being a future fire hall way down the line. So I just want permission basically to send this. And then phase 2, well, first off, phase 1 was about $20,000 with some site work, but phase 2 would have been the actual help with the bid creation, all the documents we pretty much need to go out for bid, basically. So that was a separate price, TBD on that, but I would really like to just proceed with this part right now and go from there in negotiations again. The whole design build, I mean, from what I understand, they design it, and then like Cleary and all that pretty much bid on the project, or as a subcontractor, people who bid on the project, that is, and we go from there. Is that pretty much what you also gathered, Paula? But yeah, we've got the best estimates we possibly could, I mean, with what we gave them, but it's where we are now, so, I mean, no for discussion, I guess, but I don't see any other way forward than to proceed with this route, basically with Garmin Miller.
Anybody having concerns with moving forward on that?
I mean, we priced them all out. I mean, Garmin Miller's the cheapest.
Well, it's not that it's the cheapest. So Ohio procurement law, when it comes to this service, basically is, so back in, I want to say February or March, January, February it is, I did an RFQ, request for qualifications. I forgot how many came in. I think we had like 10 to 14. It was a lot. But me, Matt Klaus at the time, Brian, Josh Long, and Mason, we all ranked them basically individually, and then we scored them, based off the total basically. And Garmin Miller was the most qualified based off of that qualifications based, there we go, selection process that we went through, which we have to go through per Ohio Revised Code. So we reached out to them the first time. I know it kind of got derailed later on, but I'm bringing it back up, but that's how we got to this company basically.
Yeah, there's just no way around this process. There's just isn't. We emailed everybody, and everybody basically said, we're not architects.
Or we could do it, but we can't do it like outside of the realm of Ohio Revised Code.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not gonna put a bunch of time in for it to be something they might not bid, like they might not win the bid, so.
So what costs are we looking at to move to the next phase?
So yeah, first off, this email will get us a revised proposal, which I would think would be a little bit less than $20,000 because we're going for public works and fire station, just public works. So I'm assuming that would go down a little bit in price there. And then we work with them after we sign an agreement with them, obviously, probably through a resolution, and we see what the costs are. And we get to a point where we say, hey, you know what, we're confident, let's go out for bid. We don't have to accept any of those bids. I know with the school, you said they went out like 3 or 4 times before they found the right bid to go after, and after they redesigned and all that. So, then we do a phase 2 agreement with Garmin Miller to pretty much create, well, before that, create the bid document for phase 2 with Garmin Miller. I want to get to that point. I put it up for the horse there a little bit, but. And then we go after funding also once that phase 1 is done too, so we know how much it costs. So USDA funding or capital budget funding through like our representatives, Teresa Gavron or someone. But we can't even ask our congressmen and all that for money until we have more of a actual detailed plan in front of them. They came to say, hey, we have this idea, give us money. So this is.
So what do you need from us?
Just a quick authorization to proceed with this email, and then that's it right now. We just discuss whatever comes back.
We don't need to make any official, like, we don't have to wait till next Tuesday, is what you're saying? To make any official
No, this is
recommendation?
This is just an email I could technically send anyways, but I'd rather I get you guys' informal blessing.
I'm okay with it, how about you?
It's the only way,
Right.
and we have to move forward. We've talked about this long enough.
Eric?
Good.
Thank you,
So
sir.
what, but keep in mind, we gotta have phase 2 to send it out to bid. And that's
Yes,
full
yes, phase
engineering.
one.
Do we have any idea on the cost of that?
No, I do not.
Okay. So, phase 1.
I can ask for the phase 2
Well,
cost also.
what does phase 1 get us further than we are today?
It gets us, well, first off, we have to do the Ohio procurement law, so it's statutory requirement. Sorry, that was really weird. But basically, it gets us cost estimates, it gives us blueprints, it gives us everything we need to then create the bid document and then go out for bid.
Okay, confirm all that, because it says, phase 2, Garmin Miller will complete the construction documents that are required for plan
Yeah.
approval and bidding. So we're not gonna know how much this is gonna cost until we commit to phase 2.
I
If
wouldn't
that's
say
an
so.
open-ended price amount.
I
we're
wouldn't
not
say
gonna
so.
know.
I wouldn't say so. I mean, we would have a range, obviously, we're not the one bidding, we won't know the cost until the actual bids come in, but we also don't have to accept any of those bids.
Yeah, I understand, but we'll have to pay for phase 2 before we get bids, according to this.
Yeah.
Okay.
These are very large documents.
And can you get a cost estimate, what phase 2 will cost us? Can you get an estimate when you ask?
Yes.
Okay.
That was- yeah.
So at this point, we're not obligated to anything as far as finances, to do phase 1.
Correct, not even that, right,
Okay.
because we haven't an agreement with them yet, we still have to go through negotiations for
Okay,
this proposal.
so I
I'll
would
show you
ask
that.
for a cost analysis for
Phase 2, I must have it added to the proposal. I mean, we can just say, we'll pay you phase 1 when we get to it, when phase 2 comes around, we'll pay you that specific amount. Then,
We'll
See
just
why
keep us
not.
informed what the cost is going to be.
okay, shouldn't be a problem.
And you got the county park district grant, Nathan tomorrow.
So I just wanted to give everyone a heads up, this is an annual resolution council generally has passed for quite a while now, but we just need to pass a resolution of authorization to submit, an application for the Wood County Park District's, local community parks grant program. So, last year, we submitted 3 projects, and we were approved for funds for the fencing that we put up on the sled hill. So, I did have something in your packets for that, a sample resolution that we can start next week, if you guys want to do first reading. We could get all 3 readings in before the deadline, which is October 16th. At the 3rd reading, though, it would be helpful to do an emergency passage. That extra month we need for it to technically take effect would be past the deadline. So I just want to make sure we're in line, that we're getting it all ready to go.
Well, we do have, we will be having a meeting with the chief here, either the 2nd or the 3rd or 4th Tuesday, correct?
Right, for that.
We could have another reading then.
We could, yes.
So let's
Okay.
plan on doing that, and that might help the timeline out.
Yeah, that'd be great. Okay. Yeah, so then the only other thing I think with the Wood County Parks District would just be getting opinions on what you all would like to see in the park, what projects we should submit for. I don't know, Paula, you have thoughts since you are the head of the committee, but I just need to know what we should submit for.
Let's give it some thought. And what are we usually awarded on that? Any idea? Is it different every year? Or?
It differs year to year, but last year.
There are 3 tiers, isn't there?
Yep, so there are 3 tiers, so they have the up to $5,000 category, the $5,000 to $10,000, and a $10,000 and above. Last year, we were awarded, I think, about $4,500 for the fencing, so that seems to be about what you can usually expect.
Okay.
I want to replace those metal benches we have everywhere with more appropriate.
Well, we also wanted to do that pavilion. We could put it towards that as well, couldn't we?
The hard part with the pavilion is we won't know if we got awarded the ODNR NatureWorks funds that we applied for until mid-November, I think is what it said on there, or sometime in November. So that'd be after we already applied for Wood County Park District. So it'd be kind of hard to, request additional funds if we're not sure if we got the original.
How much is the original for? What was the?
Oh, for the pavilion?
Mhm.
I think the project was.
Well, no, I mean for the grant that you went for. How much is that? Would that cover if we were awarded that?
Let's see, so I'm trying to think back here. So the project for the pavilion was, I think, before the foundation that we're gonna pay for out of pocket. I wanna say 22,000 around there, and I think that was right around where the county allocation was for this year, so we could get up to that, we could get
Okay.
less, we could get nothing.
Gotcha.
It just kinda depends.
Okay.
I think we all competed against Paulette. and
Yes, it's a
her
very-
application
Sorry, guys.
and this,
It is a very
so-
competitive grant.
So if we beat her,
That's a big win. I'm
Just-
excited for Portage this year. Yeah, we'll only ever write one grant per county for something like this. We don't want to compete with.
ask yourself.
Yeah.
All right, anything else for Public Works? Any questions for Paula, Josh, or Mason? All right, we'll move on to Economic and Community Development. Mason and I got together to go over the FAST program, and we came up with something. Do you have that in here?
Yes, yep, there should be I don't have my packet on me, but there should be the sample, information document that we drew up.
Where's that? Right here. I would ask that you guys read over this, see if there's anything else that you feel needs to be in there. We try to keep it simple. It will also go to Bob to review as far as any other legalities that we need to put in there. I think we discussed 40,000. I don't know if that's where we want to land. So be thinking about that, because we would like to get this rolled. If Bob can look it over, if you guys don't have any concerns or additions to it, we'd like to get this on next Tuesday's meeting to get it rolled out. But we want to make sure we cover everything. So if you guys could look at that this week, and if you have any concerns, reach out to Mason and I. If you have any additions, reach out to Mason and I so we can include it and get it off to Bob to approve.
And,
Is there any questions at this time?
I know one of our 27 pieces of legislation being read next week will include a resolution creating this program, authorizing this program, basically.
Okay.
For 3 readings, non-emergency.
Right.
So at this point, it is 3 non-emergency.
Okay.
So just wanna make sure.
But we still need to get it to Bob to have him check it out.
Yes, but
And
I
want
got to you
council-
guys first before we did that,
Right.
so.
And I
if there's
want
any revisions
council to
we
look
made.
at it and see if there's anything else they feel needs added to it to protect us and, just to make it more clear, whatever. Any other language we need to do. The other thing I wanted to bring up tonight is the festival. We had our 150, 250 celebration. The feedback was phenomenal. I have talked to a lot of the business owners. They said it was the best day they have ever had in North Baltimore. That was every business that I spoke with. They are wanting it to return next year. I've given this a lot of thought. We can't, this community, they want a water park, a pool or something. We can't afford to do that. There's just nothing we can do about that. That's, $1 million+ trying to get something like that established in this, in our park. But we can give them a festival, and I am willing to step up to organize it if council will support it.
We have a festival committee?
And just let me finish. I did talk to the mayor. I asked him, because I didn't want to step on his toes. So I told him that, people want good old summertime to return. And it was a win for council, it was a win for this town, it was a win for our businesses. Mayor does not want to partake, he doesn't want to do anything with Good Old Summertime. He wants to keep the Fall Festival, which we can support both. But he's not interested, because I even told him, I said, if in, a couple of years, if your committee can do both, can financially handle both of them, we'll hand it over to you. He's not interested in that. He's 100% in support of council doing the Good Old Summertime Festival in June. So it's with the rest of council whether we do this or not. I would be asking for the same money that we had set aside for it. We only used about half of that after donations, and I am willing to.
The only thing I got is, I remember Jeff Dennis, and I think we should bring him in and talk about this.
Well, I spoke to our current, I spoke to both Bob, and then I believe his name is Jim, another attorney in that firm. And I sent them everything that we did for this year's festival. Bob actually came in and talked to both the mayor and I, because the mayor had the same concern. And he said there's absolutely no reason why we can't host a festival and use taxpayers' money to do it. We can also go for donations. I have run some different ways of getting donations by them, and they have approved those. They said, I sent everything that we did at this last festival to him. He reviewed all of it and got back with me and said everything was right on target. We have to keep good records like we did. All money should go into a separate line item, so any money that would be brought in would be in a separate line item. He said that we could put, because I asked if we could put like donation boxes for the community to donate at different businesses. And he said absolutely we could do that, and we could put a QR code on there as well and have that like a Venmo account set up with the village, so it would go directly into the Venmo account, and then when it was transferred to the village account, it would be on that line item that there was a donation for that. So I will run everything by the attorneys to make sure that everything is done.
Yeah, all I'd say, and I remember Jeff.
Right.
was
And I
that
don't
was the
know
whole
why
thing,
he
'cause
stated that, but both these attorneys said absolutely
I
we can do
know
this.
that was the whole thing, the mayor wanted to set up a committee
Right.
through the council, and Jeff Dennis said, I don't advise it,
Right.
so.
And
It's more
they had
liability
no-
for sure if we're
And
hosting, I would say
I
that.
just,
No, and I
think we should
understand,
double
I
check.
understand your concerns, and that's when the mayor brought it up when I was in his office. Bob was still here, so we brought him in and sat down, and he said, absolutely, you can go ahead and do that, and there would be no problem with it. If we do any type of, we just gotta be careful on how we give our money, like fundraisers and things like that. There's certain things we cannot do, but there are certain things we can do to generate, donations.
Yeah, and all I would say is just ask Jeff, just what his concerns was, because I don't know,
I
I
can't
don't remember
find-
what it was, but,
If I can't find my emails, I will ask.
yeah, just ask him why he turned it down, or why he said
Mhm.
advised against, because
Mhm.
make sure we're covered.
That's fine.
My main question, if I may, fireworks, are you expecting fireworks every year?
Yep. That would be the goal, yes.
That's probably was our biggest expense, I would think?
Yes.
Okay, so just make sure. So end of June kind of thing, kind of July
It would,
4th?
if we do this, I would like to do it June 26th of next year, same weekend. That coincides with 4th of July coming up for our fireworks, but it's not, we used to do a Good Old Summertime at the end of July. But to me, that's right before fair. It could interfere with fair, plus people are saving their money for fair. So I think maybe having it in June,
And I think it was a lot of the food vendors pulled,
right?
they're going there Saturday,
Right.
so.
So it would be almost like we would kick summer off with this in June, which would kind of in keeping with Good Old Summertime. So I will be, you can reach out to Jeff if you want, but I will be putting a motion next week on the agenda, and would like your support on that as far as getting us going for the North Baltimore.
Last question, are we keeping Good Old Summertime?
I would like to add the return of Good Old Summertime. So.
And an asterisk, like.
Yep.
A week
So,
before.
Timeframe.
and then we'll come up with themes each year for the parade. And of course, this will, our goal is to do this yearly, but it will depend on our budget. That'll be, each year it'll be presented to council, and council will have to vote on it as to whether we continue or not. It would be my goal to hopefully generate enough funds to help support the following year. So, and I've got some ideas to add to it.
I did have one quick question.
Mhm.
For village, like sponsored events, who are the certified like spenders to go out and pay for, say, water
Well,
or?
that all comes back to Josh. He has to sign all
Okay.
contracts. Everything is run through the village. I'll organize it,
Okay.
but Josh is gonna have to sign the contracts and you're
Okay.
gonna have to write the checks.
All right.
So,
If I recall correctly, the formal motion authorizing myself for 30,000, I think it was,
Mhm.
for the festival.
Okay.
And then we just kind of, just referenced those minutes basically in every.
And there's
thing
actually
that-
money
yeah.
left over in the account, about half, not quite half, of money left over in the account that I would like to just come first, appropriate the rest of it, so that if council were to approve this next week, I could reach out to secure, vendors for next year, so that I don't have to, the stress of waiting 4 or 5 months out and trying to secure them. A lot of events, they're booked a year out. Some of the, people I talked to before, they were already booked a year and a half out. So, I would like to take that money that's still in there from this festival to use to secure contracts for next year, if council supports it next Tuesday.
I'd like to look into the electric. I know
Well,
we've
that's
talked
another
about
thing, I'm
it,
glad
so-
you brought that up, because what do you think it would cost what you were talking to do out there? What do you think, or who do we contact?
I think we need to talk to, who's our electric company who we usually use, is that,
AP?
There's
no,
AEP, obviously,
no,
but
not that
Long's
electric.
Electric?
Yeah.
Maybe
Is
Long's
it
Electric?
Long's Electric.
Long's?
Get a hold of like Long's Electric and tell them, I'd be glad to help, but kinda, I
Right.
forgot to take a picture when I was down at the state fair. I seen the thing what I was talking about where it's like you plug it right into the
Right.
light post and it's got all the little.
Well, when I
things
had
for
our
people to-
concession, we actually had it was a box with all the breakers on it. It was for our, concession, we plugged right into that, and then they just plugged that into the outlet. So something like that, but permanent is what you're looking for?
Yeah, that's just,
So,
if we can run, the conduit's big enough underneath the sidewalk, run the power down through there and then.
and it wouldn't do any damage to the sidewalk to
No,
upgrade
no,
this.
no.
So can we reach out to Longs and see if you can coordinate a time with Tim to meet? Because he needs to be there too.
I do want to bring up, there's probably more than just electric we can be upgrading at the same time, especially if we may be tearing up some sidewalk potentially. I know, Paulette, is there anything that comes to mind that maybe you guys help us with, I guess, a redesign of, or make it more friendly for festivals and all that in our downtown?
I did not come to your festival this year, so I don't know how you set it up. But, let me go online and stalk it.
Yeah, I can talk to you more about it later. I mean, we have a pretty small downtown, so it's not too complicated, but
Yes.
we need more electrical outlets and, I'm assuming other things too, speakers.
Is it on
Talked
this
about.
side of town?
Mostly
This
north
side
of the
of
tracks
the
right now.
This side of the railroad tracks or that side of the railroad tracks?
This side
Our
and both
side.
sides of the street out here.
I was gonna say, we could include it in the STBG application if it were on the other side.
I really don't wanna up that cost anymore.
Yeah, I
We-
know.
I mean, we could get, that box checked, but I feel like that should be just one project by itself at a future date, maybe. I know Eric talked about having just music, like, especially during Christmas time, just Christmas
Mhm.
music playing, which I think is a great idea.
Mhm.
Um,
Well, it'd also give us a PA system, to
Yeah.
announce things and stuff like that, so I think that would be great. And if good old summertime gets passed and then the fall festival, I think it's very
Yeah.
much needed.
And then,
Yeah, I'm sure Justin Heller, our office, could, sit down and talk about, things you might wanna do in your downtown area.
Yeah, let's see if we can work.
Particularly, the access to power. For Covington, Ohio, we did, outlets for food trucks,
Mhm.
around their park, because we knew we wanted a food truck area. So we did power for them. So yeah, we can look at it and learn a little bit more about what your needs are.
okay, let's kind of have more of a plan before I talk to Long's Electric, sound good?
Sure.
And then, I mean.
They might even know
Yeah,
a
yeah.
little more about the whole.
I don't think this would be like more than 79,000 competitive bidding amount, I would think, for what we're talking about, unless we're adding like public
I would think
bathroom,
so. I
which
hope
I'm
not.
not against, but, let's talk more about this later. I know we're really busy with like 5 different projects right now, but maybe in a month or so we'll catch up on this,
Okay.
and then just spitball.
Thanks for bringing that up, Tim, though, because I did want to mention that, so I forgot it, so thank you. So be thinking about that, and we will, like I said, I'll put it on, next week, and we'll see what everyone else thinks. Anybody else got any questions on that?
Something to think about that scope too, somehow to hang a banner across. We talked
Yes,
about that.
yes.
So if we're gonna be adding something to poles or fronts of buildings or running wire, what, might not be a bad idea.
Right?
I like it.
To think how we incorporate that.
A couple things, if you agree to the good old summertime, a couple things that I will want to get right away are the lock boxes to put in the businesses, because I want to get those, and the Venmo set up and stuff like that, so that we can get plenty of time for people to donate, and then I'll let people know that those are there. The businesses that agree to put those in there, which I've spoken to some already, and they're absolutely in agreement with it. I will list those online so people know. That also kind of helps the businesses out to get people in there.
This just might be a term thing, vocabulary, but we might want to use the word sponsorship instead of donation.
Okay?
Because we're not a 501c3, right?
Okay?
And you're sponsoring our summer festival. I know that when
I like that.
private companies hold charity outings, it's a sponsorship because you're not donating to that private company.
Okay.
So you can run that by Bob too, question, but I think maybe if we frame it as a sponsorship, because that's technically what they're sponsoring the festival. It's going right towards that. It's
Okay.
the community.
All right.
So just
Also kind of, I apologize.
no, you're good. I'm done.
If, could segue from the Venmo to also, I know I talked about before, by having a QR code, at our park, or for this event, or whatever, people donate a different, send us money in a different way other than Venmo, so we just give more options. I know I mentioned it to Matt before, but we just never got around to it.
So you're saying have more than one option? on
Yeah,
there?
Venmo and
Okay.
just QR codes that go straight into a certain fund. I know like BG has QR codes at their park, you can donate straight to their department, helps with their park and all that.
Okay.
I'm just
Well, that is something I will need the office
Yeah.
to set up, because
Yes, I know
you'll
this
have link to the
on
accounts and
his
stuff, so
plate.
however you want to do it, that's fine, I just need the link. So.
I don't believe they'll donate towards fireworks, so that excites people. I think we would get a lot of, actual like small donations towards that.
Okay. And that's just it, any donation helps. My goal, if council would agree, my goal would be to keep as much stuff free as possible, but depending on those donations, we may have to, charge, like a wristband type thing, for families to utilize the bounce houses and stuff like that. But all that stuff is logistics. Let's see first if council will support this, and then we'll put our heads together and see. The other thing is I want to say, if anyone on council wants to help, that's awesome. I'm here to take it. But if not, I'm also okay with that. I mean, it's like I'm not trying to put more pressure on anybody to go, well, now we have to do this. So I'm not, so you can celebrate your birthday and not have a problem.
No, I had a great time, and I was just thinking about that we should order D what we were,
No, we shouldn't. We'll just move on now.
And a sash too.
Oh, I think both would be appropriate for sure.
I do too, think it would be
Yeah,
inappropriate.
Oh,
Okay.
I will, DI will also commit to revising the business sponsorship. That was kind of a last minute thing, make it, and get it out at the beginning of the year.
Right.
So,
Well, that's
and
the
hopefully
thing.
work with these guys to get
I want to
better
try.
contacts with a lot of businesses.
I want to try to go
That's a
out
big-
and reach out individually as
I think
much as
that'd be great.
possible, because I think that
If we
will
start after
generate-
the first of the year and split it up, I think it would
Well,
work
and I
really
think
well.
if we have the letter in hand, we
Yep.
can go in and pitch the sale and then give them that to get back, with
Yeah,
us.
let's
But
coordinate, because I'm in the middle of creating our business outreach program right now, so I can probably hit a couple birds with one stone type of thing. We can bring up that, obviously, bring you guys to a meeting, but also
Mhm.
talk about, hey, do you have any do you need assistance with workforce development? I'll bring in Mary Champion over at Ohio Jobs,
Right.
or if we talk about expansions and buy more equipment, I can bring in like Wade or RGP. So want to make sure we're all doing this at once instead of just piecemeal. They are very busy people, they don't like to have multiple meetings, so just want to throw it out there.
Okay. And I've got a couple ideas to add that I think the families will enjoy, so if we move forward with this, I'll be happy to share those, so we'll see what happens. But, well, we'll be putting that on for next week, so.
I do want
Any
to
other
say,
questions? I'm sorry?
zip line.
There we go, right down Main
Zip line,
Street.
right down,
Absolutely.
they do in VG sometimes, so.
They do?
They do, they have zip line in VG.
Oh, my goodness, okay.
I've seen it too, I only saw it this year, but last year we got quite a bit.
All right, any questions? Oh, one thing I wanted to say though is, were you able to get a hold of the,
Survey?
do you have surveyor?
I called too late today, they're out of the office.
Okay.
So.
Hopefully we'll have an answer Tuesday on what's
Yeah.
taking so long on the survey of the cemetery property, and we can get moving on that
He
as
said he was
well.
gonna get back with me on June 4th, and I sent an email like last week, and they still haven't heard anything, so I'm like, what are you doing? So, hopefully I get a call back tomorrow.
Right, if not, do we have someone else we can go with?
I'm sure there's other surveyors out there.
Right.
Who's the surveyor?
Stone of,
Dan Stone?
yeah, Dan Stone,
Okay.
Hoover.
I work with his wife, I'll make sure you get a call back.
There you go.
Okay.
Appreciate that. All righty, any questions, Frank? All right, we're gonna move on to personal policy and ordinance review. Richard's not here, does anyone know of anything? Any questions for Richard? Okay, we're gonna move on to finance and technology. Dave is not here, do we have any questions or anything that we need to find out for Dave to answer? All right, we are going to move on. Josh, you've got the floor.
I'm gonna start off with the farm lease agreement, which is not on here. I have a quick, one-sheeter, to go over that. So 2024, we signed this, when was that? In December of 2024. I think it was actually after it was effective, which would have been December 1st. Anyways, so this is kind of my plan right now. I would like to do an emergency next Tuesday, the 11th, because we have to do 5 weeks of publishing, advertising and all that, and then we have to open the bids, et cetera, et cetera. Then we have to have another ordinance to actually accept that person who won the bid. And we'll get this all done before December 1st, basically. Well, before our December, whatever it is, council meeting. But the reason why I want to do this is if bids are open in late September, early October, there's a little benefit to delaying the award. Taking action in October provides additional time to address any unforeseen issues. So that's kind of my thought right now.
You're just doing a one-year contract?
Yes, one-year contract. We gotta get this all, 2 pieces of legislation done within this time frame, basically.
There is something you're gonna wanna add. I don't have the wording. I reached out to my son, who is a farmer, and I asked him, how do farmers, like, if that property were to sell while there was crops on it? There's actually a site, a government site that you go on, that if crops got destroyed or whatever, that they use to calculate how much would be a payout. Now, that would be for the buyer to take care of, but I'm just saying, we may want to incorporate that in here, into the agreement, to say, are you addressing that it's up for sale, or possibly will, up for sale in the contract?
No, because I would think the developer would come knocking on our door. If it's only a one-year agreement, they could just wait and do their preliminary research and all that beforehand, and then just wait for it to expire, and then it'd be good. Developing's a long
Well, I
process.
understand,
so-
but I'm just saying that, there are, I'm not sure if that should be revealed to them or not.
Without knowing more about what you're referring to with the website and all that.
I'll get that information
Yeah, I
to you
need,
tomorrow.
like,
I've got it.
Whatever acronym that.
I may actually be able to give it tonight here.
That call thing, like accident.
But go ahead. So, did you have something, Eric?
Nope,
Oh.
sorry, just stretching.
So, yeah, and that's fine. I guess maybe run it by Bob if he feels we need to put that in there, or if it's okay not to just close that.
I can't see any, when's the lease start?
Effective December 1st technically, and it goes to November 30th.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, if they want to do parcel splits, we can do parcel splits while it's still being farmed. It's not like, we can still set it all up and do other things. They can buy other properties and combine it, they can do a bunch of stuff. I don't think it'd be needed to go that quick. I really don't.
something to keep in mind for next year in case it, you know, it doesn't run right, or it doesn't sell or something like that, but that's fine.
Well, sold yet, but no one's knocking on our door for it yet, but we're getting to that point, hopefully. Code enforcement software, Dee, Jake Lamb and I, we had 2 demos provided to us, one by Civic Plus and one by GoGov. GoGov, the costs are pretty, well, they're a little more inexpensive, $5,500 a year, 1-year agreements, raises by 3% every year, basically. Civic Plus, it's a little bit more to it, more software, more options. We already use Civic Plus for a couple other things. You know, our online code is published by them. I work with them on getting that, keep updated on all that. But it's about $5,900 a year, up to 7% increases, a 3-year commitment, and I forgot the exact amount, but about $4,000 for just the first year for start.
It was $4,500 for the startup fee.
$4,500, yeah.
Which, viewing both of them, yes,
Right.
the Civics Plus, it has more bells and whistles, but the GoGov one would absolutely do what we need to do. The one drawback is our codes would have to basically be manually put in, but it doesn't have to be the entire code, and it doesn't have to be all of them. It can only be just the ones that they're kind of using on a daily basis. So it shouldn't be that hard. You might have 15 or 20 of them you have to enter. But this is absolutely needed to keep track of where we are in the process, what properties are habitual, what properties. It's very hard for Jake to get out there and just keep up on everything, and this would be much more organized. It also has a great program within itself that creates the documents for him with just a couple clicks. It would save him a lot of time. It would save Josh time. So we will save money in an hourly rate, even though we're paying a substantial amount for the program. I believe the GoGov one would be sufficient. And it is only a year, so if we find that we don't need it, it's not, you know, being utilized, but I believe it will be. I believe
think
it will
for sure,
be.
yes.
It's also, like, if he knows a complaint comes in, he can log it in there, and Jake has it the moment he walks, you know, in here to do anything. We may have to get an iPad for him. He's going to try it on his phone and see if he can use that if you guys agree to this. But I do think it would be, the other nice thing is we can log on to it and check any property to see where it's at, if it's been reported, if it's being taken care of, where the process is. We won't change anything. We won't have the ability to change anything, which is fine, but we could, as council members and the mayor, can all log on to it and see where each property is. So
going off of that too, I mean, Jake and I mean, we've working together for a little while now. We're gotten to a point where we have so many properties we're trying to get, you know, manage and keep track of that we're losing track of sometimes.
Right.
You know, we get really busy with my main job, village administrator, and then, or he's busy with fair stuff sometimes, and we forget about this or that, or don't do proper follow-ups. It happens. I mean,
where this would all bring
full-time.
up and load them all, and then, like, say he's supposed to go back and check a property in 5 days to see if they're in compliance, this will flag it,
Yes.
so that, you know, it'll let him know that, hey, you need to go back there and check that.
Yep.
A lot of things falling through the cracks that won't in the future, and they just, you know, what they're doing now is taking a lot of time, and I just think this would be a much better, efficient way to.
Do they have the ability to print out the violations? Could you manually fill them out?
Yes, it'd be a lot easier for the violations to go out too.
You would have you could get like a mobile printer for the car and you could do it right there?
That's what I was thinking too. That would be nice. I don't know
Like
if something like that.
Maybe we don't
costs.
need to do that just now, but maybe in the future.
Yeah, if like after year 1, like he can come back here, print them all out or whatever.
Well, I mean, we're probably gonna stick with if you see it out there the first time, courtesy notice.
Sure.
And it gets it figured out within 24 hours. I mean, we don't really need to.
Understood.
But it
Okay.
has the ability to, like, you can take pictures and then put those pictures on
Oh, nice,
the
okay.
notice and everything. Pictures of where you posted the violation on their door. It's just great
Yeah.
record keeping.
I have been
for
thinking
it.
about maybe using door hangers for like, hey, we were by your house, like.
The only thing with that is, a lot of times, even though I open my front door every day, I don't see those door hangers there. And I'll open the door, get the mail, and not even see it.
The problem we keep getting is, people's paint on their doors isn't the best, and you can't use the mailbox, because we're not
Right.
employees, so sometimes it blows away, because it's not sticky enough, or it's too sticky, and it tears the paint off, and you've got things on that, so.
Are you allowed to, and I don't know the answer to this, but some mailboxes have little hooks on them, like where the paper used to go. Are you allowed to hang it on there? I know you're not allowed to
I
put
think
it
so.
inside.
I think so, but I really don't wanna kill the loophole.
Well, I would just
but
ask the post
postal
office
service.
if that's.
But, yeah, if I could, but it just, we have more ideas coming along, but right now, the first step would be the software, I think, get us back on track and help us stay organized with the countless properties that we're constantly communicating with.
Now, he did clarify that it would take about 4 weeks to get this
I
up
think we
and
can
running.
bring that down.
So, if that's the case, well, again, that depends, he said it depends on how quickly you can get information to him. But I guess my question is do we need to pass this as an emergency next week so that we can get moving on this? Otherwise, it's gonna be next year before we probably implement.
I think we were leaning towards doing a formal motion for that, some
Okay.
legislation, I think is what we talked about.
So we wouldn't need to wait 30 days? Is that what you're saying?
I think this is $5,500, I think it can just be in the minutes, but that's council agrees to also, obviously, but I would do another piece of legislation to add to the 27 we already have. It's just getting a lot out of control and trying to, think twice about that right now before I overload you guys more than I'm already overloading
Whatever he
myself.
thinks best, I just want to be able to get it up and running
Yeah.
so that Jake can use it as quickly as possible.
I can formal motion next Tuesday, and then I sign the agreement with them, and we just go forward. And again, it's a 1 year, year by year thing. We can probably just do it retroactively if we made a mistake with this. I don't think it's too significant.
One other question, is there any add-ons with software we've already purchased for the police department?
Central Square?
Well, we've paid for a lot of new
Axon.
software upgrades over there and technology upgrades. A lot of times, they offer add-ons, these software companies, so there could be an add-on for, I'm sure police departments do code enforcement inside of police
Well, I mean,
departments.
that could be checked on very easily.
Yeah.
You could reach out to
I,
Chief
whoever
Allen.
and our rep or whatever,
Do
like,
that, yeah.
it's worth a shot.
Yeah, it could
'cause
be cheaper.
Could be just an add-on to what we have and.
Right.
we already
I'll
have
ask,
the
I do
system.
know that a lot of the software and stuff they use, we are rightfully not like
Sure.
welcome to,
Completely
stick our noses
understand.
in.
And even though Civic Plus was basically an add-on, we have accounts with them, and
Yeah.
we're still close to $10,000 for the first year.
They're
Now,
pretty good.
that is, the second year is between 5 and 6,
Yeah.
but I was a little shocked. I thought they'd do a little bit better on, the
Well,
setup cost was ridiculous, I thought.
Central Square probably has the code enforcement side of things, but it can't be associated with what the police use in any way, it can't be really integrated. Or is this a one-way street? I don't know, I have to talk to Chief Bingham about that, but I know he's still learning Central Square himself, so.
Sure.
The training, on that has not been the best by the county, I will say at this point.
Well, and anybody that uses Central Square has to be certified, don't they?
I'm sure certain parts of it do, or access to
So,
it, has been
it's not
mandated by the
something that-
sheriff. I don't quite know.
It's not, it would not be for us to use. It's not
It won't hurt
considered-
to clarify, I'm sure
Yep.
you're correct, but it wouldn't hurt to clarify and just make sure we dotted our i's and crossed our t's, so.
Yep. I mean, we can keep searching for other softwares, I'm sure there's more out there, but I don't think we can get much better than GoGo.
I don't think so
I think it's pretty, it's not as pretty as Civic Plus, but I think it's enough.
I thought it did, I actually liked it better. The only drawback was you had to manually put in our codes.
I will
Which
say-
again, when they said we didn't have to put them all in, and that we didn't have to put the entire code in, it was just kind of paraphrased on there.
And I think we can get the GIS data to them pretty quickly. I mean, I will say I'm pretty dang busy with a lot of document creation and editing and all that.
Right.
With Lexipol going on, and the deadlines in September. Plus, I'm creating my business outreach program as part of my capstone for my academic development certification for IO and OEDA, which is due,
Mhm.
I'm going to be in Columbus August 21st, by the way, to do my presentation in front of all of them. So I'm very swamped right now.
Right.
Amongst the
Well, I wonder if
amongst
Jake
the
can add them as he's doing the first one. I don't know how that all works, but.
No offense to Jake, but I would rather do that myself,
Okay.
that part at least.
Now, my other question was, and I can't remember, I know the Civic Plus had a map that actually mapped off where every violation was. Did they have that? I cannot remember. If GoGov had that.
I know you asked this question before. I'll double check the demo on that one.
Okay.
I mean, they will have the GIS data already, so I don't know to that extent how much they can use.
So the county, we can get all of the property information from the county, and they can just put that into the.
And you click on the parcel in GIS and it pops up with.
It'll pop up and fill it all in for you. So it really is gonna be a time saver for Jake and Josh.
If that is the case with GoGov as opposed to Civic Plus, yeah. Because there's the 2-week difference between these two demos, by the way, so that's all kind of. I'm trying to remember. I have the recording though for GoGov, so.
Okay.
Oh, and the Master Professional Service Agreement, I have that in front of yourself and Bob, and then I have also a new purchase policy that is going to be incorporated into Lexipol in front of Bob and Eric also. I'm trying to have them kind of reference each other and kind of work in that way. I still have some thoughts in my head about how we can, like, approve task orders and all that, if it is appropriated, make sure that's legal. We may need another agreement on top of that to approve things or approve the task orders individually. That's something I'm still trying to wrap my head around at this time. But right now, the main agreement is in front of Bob, and we're going from there. Anything else I need to know on your end, Eric, regarding
No,
this?
I can, whether Bob does it, or I can go back and revise now that I know the language, like the task order.
I think from you, I think I mostly need you to just review the purchase policy
Yeah,
amendment, just make sure it references appropriately what you envision at this time to see if what we can tweak up. It's not going to be approved until council approves it anyways, until late fall and
Sure.
probably in 2027 anyways, but we can go that route. I also want to make sure that we're on the same page when it comes to the adjustments I made to, I made it from like 5,000 to 10,000 since the 2022 ordinance, and then some other, quite a few changes, basically. I would love to have your opinion on it, basically, what I'm trying to
Okay,
say.
yep, I'll take a look.
It needs more tweaking. Okay, going forward, Eagleville Bridge resolution. I talked to the mayor. I did some more due diligence. We're kind of in some roadblocks here and there, but we see no reason not to allow the emergency resolution next Tuesday to go forward, allowing the mayor to petition the county commissioners to have public hearings and ultimately take responsibility of the Eagleville Bridge, which everything is pointing at, yes, you're responsible, why the heck don't you didn't replace this? It's almost 100 years old. Yes, there's some risk of the bridge closing, but I think we have to push this envelope, because if we don't, then it'll probably just fall apart anyways, it'll be closed anyways, or someone will get hurt. That bridge is not rated very well, and it's one of our main thoroughfares, so we have to keep it open as we can, and have it planned out at the very least even a couple years ahead. In addition to that, East Broadway sidewalk obviously goes through that, so it'll connect with on the north side, which is, by the way, we got our official encumbrance done for the East Broadway sidewalk today, so we're starting that project up with Mayor Construction Point. I'm very happy that finally took off. ODOT kind of waited a lot longer than I expected to encumber that money. So a letter will go out to those residents, and we'll do a site visit, walk the full, probably mile of that, to make sure that we have encompassed a full understanding of where everything is and all that, et cetera, et cetera. So that's where we're going with the Eagleville Bridge. Any questions on that by any chance? County engineers and place the Dane Bridge, basically. Quarry Road repave. I'm working on addendum number 2. It's a learning experience for me. But basically, the deadline is still planned for August 24th, 10 a.m. But that's just widening the road by 1 foot to the north, and then they'll have half of it will be open at a time, basically for traffic. But, yeah, just working on that slowly but surely, with sending out to a bunch of contractors, Gherkin, Shelley, and a few others, what's the one I'm thinking of? Got the other one. Anyway. OPWC, North Main, this is something that kind of came about once we figured out that Quarry Road repave was not a good OPWC project. Paulette and I and Mason and the rest of her team had a walk last Friday actually of North Main from Walnut to Quarry basically. We have a couple projects in mind, but right now for this project specifically, OPWC, we're thinking I think you brought some stuff here.
I brought stuff.
But basically, before I pass on to you, Walnut to Cherry, we're trying to keep it under $499,000 for OPWC. 50% grant, 50% loan. The loan would be 0% of that loan for 20 to 30 years, whatever it is, and then this would be sidewalk and reconstruction / repave where needed, and then new storm basins, because there's only 4 storm catch basins that entire length, and I've seen any complaints from residents that it's tearing up, and there's a lot of sediment coming down, and the curbs have been annihilated throughout that whole area, even all the way to Quarry. So we're trying to kind of piecemeal it going north with the funding and opportunities we have available to us. Water and sewer are already in place. We're good to go on that end. Again, this is kind of fix our main streets now, which we know need the help, and funding's out there. Water and sewer are good, and then work on the secondary and side streets once we have the PCR and traffic counts more up to date, ready to go, along with GIS data. I've also met with Lake Erie West, was it last week, 2 weeks ago, and we're working with them and Kleinfelder on getting unofficial PCRs and official PCRs eventually with their engineer stamp when the time comes for those grant applications. So I'm working on a lot of different things here with a lot of different people, but I just want to make sure you guys are aware. Would council be in support of an OPWC project for North Main from Walnut to Cherry at this point? Sidewalk and resurfacing and curb and catch basins.
And that was 0% interest?
0% interest of $250,000 basically over 20 and 30 years, and then 50% grant. Like, it's not obviously not a guarantee we're going to get the money, but Paulette thinks it's a great project, and I have to agree with her. And it's our main street, so show us some love. Right? It's kind of my hope.
And the sidewalks are terrible.
Sidewalks are horrible in certain parts.
Brick sidewalks.
That brick sidewalk is, and Paulette agreed, we will keep that. But best thing brick sidewalk in town, I will say. You should get an award. But a lot of other places, it's pretty rough. I know the intersections, the crosswalks, the ADA mats are very subpar. Definitely does not meet any standards out there, so those we definitely looked at.
Do we have streetlights on that part?
In that area, no. We have it at the intersection of Cherry and Main, though.
Okay. Is the goal to, do we want to consider having our main street from the school to the roundabout having the same streetlights we have downtown the whole way?
I don't think so. I think we're going to keep that lighting in our downtown area. So we're adding those lights, for example, to
in the commercial area.
South. Yeah, well, for the most part. Our new downtown in South Main, part of our SVG project,
to the corner of Water.
from State to Poplar, is kind of where we're going to put this new lighting that's it's similar, exact, to North Main.
Okay.
I also want to replace those 2 lights on the corners of Tar and East Broadway with the same lights too, just FYI. I believe those don't even work. I'm not sure last time they did work, but came over that a couple months ago and I've been trying to replace them ever since. I'm good? Anyways, off to you, Paulette.
Sure, thanks.
I did a lot of talking there.
So we did early next walk. Do you just want to take one of these and pass it
Get some rainbow.
around? Thanks. So hot off the presses today, we were out here Friday and we looked at this area. So, you'll see on the map coming around where we're proposing to replace the sidewalk, and then where, we're looking to put in a rapid flashing beacon with some bump outs, and then where we're looking to improve ADA, install crosswalks, and resurfacing. It is a really wide street that you have, so it's a little pricey. So, as Josh said, we want to keep the scope to be under 500,000, because if you get over 500,000, you start to lose points in the scoring criteria. And honestly, this is just a big game to make sure that you score the points needed. So, the estimate that we have for the construction of this project is $482,480. So I think that would make a perfect OPWC application. Wood County, we know historically really likes to fund road projects. In fact, that is all they funded last year was road projects. So if you authorize us, we will go ahead and get that application prepared and submitted. There is authorizing legislative, which is one of your 270 pieces of legislation that is on your agenda for next week. One thing that I would suggest you do, since this is kind of a little scoring hustle, I would suggest that you not ask for grant funding for the engineering. Pay that out of local funds, because that way, one, your project can move forward faster, and secondly, you would score more points if you do not include engineering.
You're referring to grant funding for design? Where, for future reference, where can I apply for that?
Oh, no, it has to be part of the application.
Okay.
It's part of the OPWC application, and for a program that is supposed to be the same statewide, each district has different criteria on how they score them, and it makes it insanely confusing. So in this district, they kind of prefer if you don't include your engineering as part of your project. But if you include your engineering as part of the project, you cannot start until grant funds are received. So let's talk about that timeline. If we make this application, which is due September 11th, by the way, to the county, if we make this application, it'll go through the county, and they'll score it. And then it'll go forward to the district, and then the district will take, 4 or 5 counties, and they'll score them against each other, and they will determine what they're recommending to the state to be funded. And then that process, it kicks around down at the state level for a while. If they recommend you for funding at the county and at the district level, you're pretty darn sure you're getting the money. But they don't really make the formal announcements until May, June, and then July you actually will get your grant agreement. You can do design, you can even bid the project prior to getting your grant agreement. You just can't hire the contractor until you get your grant agreement from the state. Grant agreements always come out the very first week of July. So that's kind of what you're looking at. Peculiar, I know, because you'd like to have the whole summertime to be able to do construction. But when you're not able to sign a contract with contracts until July, it really tightens that window on when you can, on when they can get the work done before the plants close. And also, frankly, you get better bids in January, February, March, because they're trying to fill their schedule. So, I don't know why it's set this way, it just is.
So if we get awarded OPWC, we have to use the fund within begin construction within 18 months, correct? So this can be, theoretically, construction would begin on this project, July 2027?
Yeah, at the very earliest.
The very
Well, okay, you could sign a contract with the
That'd be
contractor.
2028 would be when you want to do the construction, right?
I would think so.
Yeah.
I would try to bid in the winter months,
Yeah.
because I really think you're gonna get better prices, because they are looking to fill up their schedule.
Yeah.
There's no problem with delaying the bid. You can sign the grant agreement, and then you can bid a little bit later, and let them know that you're looking at constructing the project the next spring.
So that timeline was with or without asking for engineering coverage, cost coverage. Is that correct? Because I understood you to say it's gonna take longer if we ask for them to cover.
Yes, because you can't start engineering until you get your grant agreement.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Grant agreement, so it'd be about
It would be.
100,000, 20%, right? 20% of the 500,000 approximately.
No, that's ODOT. This is OPWC. So they would look at this as, 50% grant, 50% loan, and then they would look at you to have 10% in it.
Okay, well, 20% I'm thinking about is the design cost, the design local.
ODOT requires a 20% local match, OPWC does not.
Okay.
And they're all different. You will see, if we do an estimate for ODOT, you will see that there's inflation in it for the year it's intended to be construction. OPWC does not allow you to include inflation. You're allowed to include up to a 10% contingency, so we always include a 10% contingency. So they have little nuances on what they want. So that's why you'll see estimates look different depending on what program we're applying to.
So walk me through this, help me out with this timeline, I just want to understand a little more. So September 11th, you said is the...
September 11th, the application is due to Wood County.
Okay, and then...
Then it'll go to district after that, that's in
Yeah.
the fall sometime.
Okay. Then, when, let's say everything goes really well, when would we need to start engineering?
If you're including the engineering as part of the application, first it bumps you over $500,000.
Yeah, no, I think that we need to, I agree that it probably needs to be separate.
Okay. So I would suggest waiting until that, honestly, it's either now and we get points to say engineering is underway, or I would wait until the district makes their recommendations to the state.
And that's
Because-
next summer?
Spring.
Spring, next spring?
Yeah, winter months, February usually.
Okay.
So with OPWC, to make it even more confusing, there are two different pots of money. There's the OPWC program, and that is SCIP and LTIP, and then there's something called the Small Government Program. And small government is special, and only cities that are 5,000 or less population can be considered for funding out of that pot. It works just like OPWC. It's the same application. It's just you guys get a second bite at the apple, so the Bowling Greens and the Toledos don't take all the money.
Okay.
So that is the one that you would know late about if you are forwarded to small government.
Okay.
So again, design, I mean, the rule of thumb for understanding is design is usually about, 15 to 20% of the construction cost?
The design is on here. There's a design fee on there. So yeah, and that's broken down completely. That includes survey, bidding, even gives allowances for advertising, printing, mailing.
So,
yeah, there's a breakdown.
the reason why I have so many questions, everyone, is because we did this on Friday, and for some reason I'm looking at this today, so.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't like to duh moments.
We've been going
but
pretty fast on this,
I
so
got here
wait
late,
for the
and that's
council.
why, because I was running copies.
Thank you, Paul.
You're welcome. I can give you, I'm glad you're all sitting down, I can give you the estimate for Water Street as well, if you just want to tuck that in your mind. It's horrifying.
So, council, if we want to go forward with this OPWC application, we should expect about $125,000 in local costs for design.
Yep. And then we had previously talked about Water Street, and I will give you this just so you know. This is not broken down into bite-sized pieces. This is reconstruction of Water Street. And I know, ta-da, Josh.
Not expecting this.
No, I just wanted to get it in front of you since it was done already. And you're so welcome. And so this is something you can kind of think about for budgeting. As we broke down that North Main Street project, I think you're gonna wanna break down Water Street too, because it's over $3,000, or over $3 million. I wish it were 3,000. I was stunned when I looked at the numbers.
Wow, 2.5.
Yeah. So, again, one of the things that's really good to do, especially since you have street levy money, is to really hustle this OPWC program every year, work on a street, figure out what you would like to do.
And just like North Main, well, most of North Main that is, East Water Street is not eligible for federal funding, so OPWC is kind of our only real
It really
option.
is, yeah. Unless I have like somebody adding a lot of jobs, OPWC is your best bet. If somebody were really adding a large number of jobs to a business located out there, we could go to the state and ask for additional funding through the Ohio Department of Development.
We're adding 10.
So, obviously we care about the side streets, but we're going to be encumbered with these, just our main roads, for at least the next 6 years, I feel like, and project OPWC, $500,000 a pop, with obviously construction costs increasing almost every dang year, which doesn't help matters at all. So that affects, well, our cost of planning, but I don't see any other way forward in the meantime, unless we get income tax, we get more money, more ability to pursue these side street projects, which I really want to go after obviously too, but reconstruction and most of it is probably necessary.
Don't you get money from the county, from gas tax?
Yes.
You could use that on Main Street.
Is that permissible?
No, that's our local distribution.
So other communities use that as, to help with their roadway costs.
Well, I mean, I think most, if not all of our streets other than East Broadway need a little bit of help. So we're kind of playing catch up.
Yeah. North Main is in tough condition. In fact, the next section that would be past the school and out to Quarry Road, that's really, really rough. And so before, after we get OPWC in with this section, if that's what you choose to do, we want to sit down with Chris from District 2 at ODOT and talk to him, because we'd like to see if we could get abbreviated safety money to help with some of the sidewalks and some of those types of things. It won't pay for the roadway, but it can help with sidewalks and pedestrian crossings. Abbreviated safety money is available quarterly through ODOT.
I forwarded.
Super competitive.
I forwarded you that email from Lake Erie West regarding HSIP, and then ATTAIN was the acronym for the other one.
Yeah, and I'll look into that.
I kind of had that question.
Okay, I'm going to tell you something really sad, and it sounds very
You like
horrible
emails?
that I'm doing this. No, I love your emails. And please keep including Tori on those.
Yeah.
Her husband was killed in a car accident this past weekend.
Oh, wow.
So we were here walking around on Friday taking pictures. And so keep copying her, so when she gets
I got an automatic response
gets
from
back.
my many emails
Yeah.
today. So.
And then Bennett, who is the head of the department, and myself have access to her email, so we'll make sure we keep up on her.
Okay.
So we'll make sure that
horrible.
STBG gets in and things like that. So if you don't see a response from Tori, give me like a little bit longer.
I get you. Yeah. Well, I'm saying everything I send to her, I copy you on anyways.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
well, I mean, when appropriate, tell her I wish her the best.
Yeah, it'll just take me a
All
little
this.
bit longer to respond.
Condolences.
Because we all have our normal jobs, and then we're all picking up.
Yeah.
A lot.
Wow.
It's been a couple of years since I've had to put something in an OPWC portal, but I guess I'll be doing that.
Well, I mean, selfishly speaking, I know the STBG application is due this Friday. I mean,
Yep, it'll be done.
good on that.
Yeah, and you had asked a question about the bump outs and the rapid flashing beacon.
Yes.
And I saw that Jeff responded to that.
Yep.
Yeah, leave it in, it can always be cut later.
Yep.
We don't want to add it later. So,
Okay.
yeah, let's do that.
That radii.
And we will take care of getting that submitted. And it's my understanding that you're doing first reading of your complete streets
We
next
are
council
doing
meeting?
emergency reading on
Okay.
August 11th, which we have not gotten to yet on this, everyone, but basically, we might as well do it now. Complete Streets Ordinance basically tells us, it's a requirement of the application if for 1 point. It's only 1 point, but it's basically,
1 point can make a difference.
you want to explain
so-
what a Complete Streets Ordinance is? real
A
quick for
complete
council?
streets ordinance says where it is possible, the community will not just improve a roadway, but they will look at enhancing pedestrian safety, and typically that means adding a sidewalk. So, it just becomes a policy. If for some reason it can't be done, no one's gonna come and take away your birthday, but they certainly wanna make sure that, you know, you are keeping pedestrians and bicyclists in mind, as you are rebuilding streets.
I would really I'd be very mad if we missed out on this opportunity because we're
At
1
1
point.
point.
I don't even want to take that risk. It's one of our 27 pieces of legislation next week. I keep saying that, so I'm preparing you for all that, but it's pretty basic, I would think.
I have a
We care
question on,
about
you
it.
said that if we had our engineering done, it
Mhm.
would increase our points.
Mhm.
How many points does that get?
5.
Wow. How many points are there altogether that they would usually?
It normally takes about 89 points, I believe, in this district to secure funding. Every year it's different because
Sure.
it depends what applications come in. And we will pre-score an application before we submit it and see, like, this complete streets legislation, if there's anything you can do to tinker with getting an extra point or two. So
Yeah.
if this is the project you want to do, I will pre-score it based on the information I have, and I will let you know where you're pre-scoring.
So North Main.
Not tomorrow, but the next day.
North Main, OPWC, Walnut to Cherry, we're gonna miss out on 5 points because we're not gonna have it designed prior to, because I don't see it happening in the
No,
next
we can.
2 months.
One of the things that can happen is we can say design is underway if we have a contract in front of you, or, I don't like to fib on these applications, but if you know that, you know, design will be completed by a particular date, you can attach a copy of the contract. That'll be enough proof that, your design is underway.
I just don't think we can take that risk to pay.
Well, that's what I was gonna say, does it
Yeah.
have to be a sign?
Yeah, exactly.
I
We
don't
just,
think so.
we just can't afford, because it's not like if we don't get the grant, we're gonna be like, hey, let's pull the money out of the village coffers and pay for the
Right.
project.
Right.
anyways.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's not many
This is a big
opportunities.
It's not gonna happen.
It's
Well,
kinda like OPWC or bust.
My question is,
Yeah.
does it have to be a signed contract?
I agree, I wanna make sure we have all the options.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
yeah,
Truthfully-
we have to wait till this is, that's why I was asking about that timeframe.
Yep, truthfully,
When-
I'd wait until you know.
Yeah, we can't.
Okay.
Yep, until you're pretty close to knowing. Yeah, I was on council in a small town.
Yeah, yeah, we-
And I got you.
We struggled to come up with the money for the engineering, so.
So,
Yeah.
I guess, OPWC for North Main this year, and then from Cherry to Quarry application for next
For
year.
next year.
And then we kind of work on East Water Street for OPWC going forward after that.
Well, I would like to know where the money's coming from. So you're gonna have to work on that.
And street levy permissive tax, you know, those are two of your.
You still have costs with the MUP and then the SDBG. And then I think you saw my email from earlier about my 2027 SDBG thoughts on the roundabout being revamped.
STVG
Crap.
won't be 2027, they usually do it every other year.
I know that.
Yeah, so this coming year will.
2028?
Yeah, this coming year will probably be, TAP and CMAQ. I'm so sorry, it's horrible acronym land. But both of those programs deal with,
I know
air.
CMAQ is used for new roundabouts, they can be used for.
That would be
existing. I
my
didn't think about
question,
that.
yeah, I thought about that as I was driving down
We
here.
would have to look for that. I'm not sure if anyone has taken a little site visit of a roundabout. It is bad. It's very bad. The curbs are all screwed up, the storm basins are messed up. People keep telling me it's not wide enough, ODOT's saying otherwise. But, and we are responsible for maintaining it. They actually sent over an agreement today from 2015.
Just
saying
reminding
that
you.
you're maintaining this. So,
That seems
other than the signs they're responsible for, which they have, they're behind schedule on for 2 months now, but they're getting. Say again?
Is it missing some light posts?
There's also that, we're thinking about removing half, maybe a third of those light posts. We think it's a little overkill, to be honest, but that's TBD on how that all goes. But
It's too bad we can't install like those cement pylons on the corners, because it's the semis that are running over everything, and they just annihilate our signs and
I
everything.
think it can be
so-
definitely talked about during this. CMAC can probably pay for lighting the whole thing for the roundabouts, right?
Yeah.
So
So
we'll talk
it's
about
the
it at
UPS
that
guys
time.
over-
Well, my understanding is we
One
can't
of
add it. We can't put those in there. I had asked before.
See why not? Wait, more discussion in the future, but CMAC.
Yeah, I don't know
apply
how
for
that
it
was
2027.
originally designed. Roundabouts are kind of designed one of two ways with the roll-up curb. So things like fire trucks can go over it,
Mhm.
or they're
Yeah.
wider and bigger, to
Well,
allow.
semis go over it, let me
that.
tell you.
Yeah, it's beat to hell, but,
Yeah.
so 2027 CMAC through Lake Erie West.
Usually, yeah.
I definitely
Um,
consider that.
The bad news is, federal transportation bill is pretty much cut in about half from what it normally is.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it'll be more competitive.
I understand council's, a lot of sticker shock here, but we gotta start somewhere. These projects take time, and if we don't start now, then we're just kicking the can down the road anyway, so damn if we do, damn if we don't, might as well do.
Yeah, and then after, you get that pavement condition review, I would call it a pavement condition survey, instead of a study. Once you get that survey that Lake Erie West is doing for you for free, super smart, Josh hustled to get that to happen, because you're the first one they're doing it with. That's going to give you a great base plan. You're gonna know what streets are the worst. We can do an overlay for you of what areas of town are considered low to moderate income, which would make you eligible for CDBG funding for some of those. So you can look at, do we resurface this one now before it gets to the point where it needs to be reconstructed? So you're gonna have a lot of information to make smarter decisions.
I believe CDBG is not eligible for North Main, but I believe it's eligible for East Water when we get to it.
Yeah, it's
We'll talk more on
just
that.
smaller chunks of money, yeah,
Yeah, but we can layer that with OBWC, maybe?
perhaps,
Oh, okay.
yeah, perhaps.
Not a lot of opportunities out there, so we're kind of going after everything anyway.
Yeah, it's a little harsh, but I can get you more money for bike trails than I can for roadways right now.
Which I'm also working on.
Crazy.
A whole other project you gotta know nothing about. Well, maybe you do. That's cool to.
Thank you for all that information.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you.
So, give me money, I will spend it.
We need to, so when is the pavement study happening?
Pavement condition rating, Lake Erie West is still getting their whole program set up. They actually are training an AI to know what to look for basically in the PCR, the pavement condition ratings. They said they should be up and running next month, which I think is fine. We're not really in a crazy hurry to get this information, but we also want the correct information. So they'll get it done for us, basically, is kind of the understanding, and then they confirm.
Yeah,
stamp
then
of
what we'll do
engineering.
is, you
For
can
an
look at
application.
those and then kind of look at the ones that you do, kind of code red, and then we can go out and field verify and have the engineers,
Yeah, right before an application,
Yeah.
for the application, so.
And it's actually smarter because you don't want us to do a pavement condition rating survey of the whole town, because it's kind of expensive. I think it was like 30, wasn't it?
20-something.
Okay.
Yes.
But you don't want us to do a snapshot in time survey of the whole town with an engineer stamp on it. I think this kind of tool that you can have come out repeatedly, especially since it's AI, have them come out every, couple years, and then just have us do the streets that you're really interested in focusing on. Sorry.
I'd really like to work towards, Josh, I've
Yes.
been talking about this for a while. I
Mhm.
think we need to see a 5-year plan. We need to talk about, to me, I'm confused. I don't know about you guys. We have a million different projects we've been talking about. We need to know timeframes, expenditure time, when we anticipate construction, engineering, when the village needs to spend what. We gotta get that on a list, because now it's just, I feel like it's we got a deadline in 3 weeks. We got a deadline, we gotta do this in 3 months. Like,
Right. And we have no idea on cost on all this stuff.
Yeah, we
We've got
have to, we gotta get this so we can make the right decisions, make sure we're prioritizing
Yeah.
properly,
Yep.
and knowing what's going to come out of the budget next year, the year after that, for engineering. We gotta get all that laid out. We've got way too many things going on right now. And then I agree that the studies with we'll have the pavement information. We're gonna have where we could potentially get extra funds at. We have sidewalk money that we're spent, we gotta get all this stuff organized. I feel like we're,
Well, an Excel sheet would
Precast
be
this
nice,
one.
that just had all of this stuff listed on there.
yeah, we gotta have a plan.
Mason has something, I think it's a little updated now after a lot of what's happened very recently. But I completely understand, completely agree. I know a lot of this is kind of we're just trying to catch up with applications and all that. But
We just gotta remember, you guys are doing it, everyone is doing a good job involved,
I hear you.
but we're not gonna catch up tomorrow. We gotta
yes,
plan this out. We gotta know when these real deadlines are to apply for funding. We gotta know what you're thinking about now, next year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years.
talking about North Main, South Main, East Water Street, and a roundabout. That's basically our 8-year plan right there.
Right. So
By
let's,
itself.
let's get that charted out, what expenditures, what we anticipate it's gonna cost. You know, we've talked about, we've talked about going and asking for an income tax increase following year. We gotta get this stuff organized, and
I will say,
we're all over the place right now.
residents, when they see that we're actually doing something with the money we have, they will say,
100%.
hey, keep this ball rolling, I will vote yes. That's kind of my thought on all this.
We agree, but we need
Yeah.
to know.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I know, I
We
completely
need to know,
It-
because
it
there's
can't be
all
like
these
a-
dollar signs everywhere,
I-
I'm wondering
I
where
have
this
done
money's
this-
coming from,
Yes,
so.
yeah, I can't be like 250,000 for engineering now, and then we got bike paths, we just
Yep.
gotta know
I
when,
agree.
all that stuff,
Mason?
we need to see the next
Definitely.
5 years. I will gladly
We got
help
plenty
you
to
guys,
simply put in a piece of paper. yeah.
Hey, Josh,
Yes.
do you do a capital improvement plan?
It's something that's also on the list of things to do.
Okay.
We,
City of Piqua actually has kind of a nice template if you want to look at theirs.
how about the three of us talk more about that,
Yeah.
and maybe steal theirs, and I don't like to reinvent the wheel when
That's
I don't
right,
have
John.
to. But I completely understand,
Yeah, we just gotta-
we put in our Excel documents would be a lot
It's,
better.
yeah, I'm lost at this point, and I think it's great we're talking about all these projects, but
I'm
I feel
lost,
like
I'm the one doing it.
every meeting,
I'm joking.
we have the funding for this, funding for that. These 10 projects we're talking about, I couldn't give you the dates that we need to do anything on any of them at this point. I
Yep.
don't know if you guys can, you're
No.
you're better than me.
I'm with you, I'm
We gotta
confused
get
as well,
this
and like I said, I
organized.
need to know where the money's
I get
coming
you.
from and the
I
dollar
get you.
signs, but it would be
Yeah,
nice to have.
because
it
that's the
all
exact, and the right question that the mayor asks every time is, these plans are great, but where's the money coming from? We gotta figure that out.
I haven't been doing a great job in the past keeping you guys up to date on what we're actually committing to these applications. I'm been trying to do better with that, and yes, it can be overwhelming now, because now I'm at you with like 7 different projects at once, but
Yeah.
I get it. We'll put it in a more simpler way, piece of paper,
Well,
Excel
an Excel
document.
sheet with all that information
Exactly.
on it, and then update.
Every
periodically.
project, what the
Yep,
deadlines
add it to it,
are,
and then
what
that
the
way we have another
expenditures
printout,
are.
Where we are, you know.
Confirmed
and
by
that-
Paulette,
There you
periodically,
go.
make sure we're all on the same page.
But
Yeah.
I agree, we need that.
But yeah, we are working on everything and anything at the same time. I mean, it takes time to get this all
Yeah,
up
we
and
need
running.
5-year project schedule.
And I'm still learning a lot of this too. I mean, Paulette's been a great help with all this. I'm very happy we did the general RFQ for engineering and all that, and they scored very high, the highest, obviously. And we're kind of going gangbusters with all that and with them, and just trying to rebuild North Baltimore, basically. Call me Bender the Builder.
I agree with you, we gotta do it right.
Yep.
And we have to know, because all these are great ideas, but if we don't have the money to pay for it, we can't do them.
We're breaking a lot of eggs right now to make that omelet. We're getting
Okay.
there. Trust me.
And I don't wanna be in projects that we're spending for engineering that we're not gonna be able to complete, you know, that we aren't.
Yeah.
If we have too many irons in the
Yes.
fire, then we need to.
Within reason, I know
Right.
we did do that for these 2 stormwater projects,
Right.
which I'm talking with Cindy Brooks over at GLCAP to get those constructed, and also applying for OPWC this fall too, along with applying for WPCLF EPA loan funding, to see if we can layer them or choose one or the other. So those will all also be constructed either WPCLF loan will be January, the earliest construction, and LPWC will be July 2027 construction. So those are getting done too. Those are other projects we can get into about, right?
So, immediate needs and immediate
Lower cost.
deadlines.
Yes.
Because I'm gonna say that we should have a project scheduled by 1st of October. Is that realistic for you guys?
Yeah.
To give us a 5-year
I think
project
so.
schedule with deadlines for expenditures and what we're, engineering costs, what our portion of it is, what we're hoping to get for a grant, blah, 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 all that. So what are our immediate expenditures that we have coming up that we have to commit to before the 1st of October?
Thank you.
And if you don't have that tonight, can you email it to council before our meeting
Well,
next
I
week?
know we have the 106,000 for the MVP for design with using the Kleinfelder over on 18 in the Poe Road sidewalk. That's something coming up around the corner here.
Now, with that, I don't recall off the top of my head, since it's TMACOG funding, I'm assuming that you're required to pay 20% of the construction and 100%
Yes.
of the engineering?
Yes, and we're going to
Okay.
tackle that with DNR trail funding and OPWC in a future application, I believe.
So that is one that we're gonna have to commit to before the 1st of October.
Not, I don't know, because I don't know if we sign, next Tuesday, let's say we hopefully, we're not going to, because we're still waiting on the master service agreement stuff. But, okay, next month, we approve the agreement with Kleinfelder for design of the MUP. When do we actually pay Kleinfelder?
Incrementally as the work is done.
Okay, so now 106 are off the bat, not lump sum.
Okay, so I think my ask, and you guys tell me if I'm asking, but if before we get that plan where we know what we have to spend, when we have to spend it, total cost, can you email to all of us what we need to approve and then where that money's coming from before our next meeting?
Before next Tuesday?
Well, that's when, are you saying that's when it needs to be voted on, or does it need to be voted on in September?
I know we talked, was it last week, that we should not approve the MUP agreement with Kleinfelder because we're still waiting on the professional master service
100%.
agreement to be approved.
Yeah. I just wanna know if there's a deadline that we're gonna lose out on the funding that we've already secured.
You actually have a little bit of time because that money is programmed for construction, isn't it 29?
2030.
Okay, which in ODOT world, just to make it more confusing,
So,
it's July.
you get what I'm asking for, so if we talk to
Absolutely.
this after, if we start getting all this stuff approved and we know where the money's gonna come from,
Yep.
after October 1st, we'll sit down, look at these schedules, make sure everyone's
Yep.
then, so we're good. So there's nothing that we need to approve then before October expenditures? I know it would be nice, but I'm hearing that, like, even
The
for,
legislation
yeah.
for this.
yes.
Complete streets, which doesn't cost us anything.
So
Right.
one of the things that's gonna be really helpful for you, Josh, as you're trying to map this all out,
Yeah.
is go into Ellis, the ODOT, site, because it'll tell you, like, the program for your project. So stage 1 drawings are supposed to be submitted to ODOT by a particular date. And that's how you're gonna back into your.
Yeah, that's what we need to do.
Yep,
We need to
that's
start
how you're
for,
gonna
if
do
something's
that.
if we anticipate something under construction June 1st of 2030, you start working in reverse. When's the money due? When do we have to have all that done?
Yep.
And go back a couple of years. That's what we're trying to,
I hear you.
that's what we gotta figure out.
Yep, so all of your ODOT, TMACOG funded, Lake Erie West funded projects should be in Ellis, and you can find those stages. And so that's going to correlate directly to your engineering expenses.
Sure.
So that's gonna be a great tool.
We're
for you.
definitely working a lot on that. I haven't been Ellis in a while, unfortunately, but I'll move around. If I completely get everything you're saying, I agree with everything you're saying.
Okay.
I know.
I will gladly come and sit and try to help you guys out. I know a little bit about this stuff, but like, I'd be glad to help. I just think it's gonna help all of us make the right decisions and be informed.
I agree.
So to clarify, we are not gonna lose out on anything if we wait till October?
No,
Okay.
Okay.
absolutely not.
Great.
Because we even talked about it when we were out here Friday, and that ODOT schedule is pretty generous, and if we need to make up
Sure.
a month or two, we can do that without asking to reprogram.
In the complete streets ordinance, we can go ahead and go on that next week. That doesn't cost us anything. That's just, will help
An
us
extra
with future
point.
updates. No problem. Okay, thank you.
And then
Thank you.
we're gonna have a hell of a lot of fun with budget discussions this fall. I would really like last year we didn't have as many council members as I would like to have had at those meetings, but had it my way, you guys would definitely be at those. But for like public utilities, we definitely talk about capital funding going forward, what we're gonna roll over, what projects are on the horizon.
And
then
I would
both
like
of
to
you with
request
streets and
that
sidewalks.
those dates get forwarded to us when the budgeting
Yes.
meetings are. Please forward that to all of us so we know when they are.
And I know Justin's the one in charge basically of those meetings, so please.
I did send out today, up-to-date budgets for each department to the department heads. And I said in that email to let me know of any projects you see on the horizon, for budget talks later in the year, just so we know what to expect from each department, what they're trying to do.
So the three of us, the three council members and me, the four of us are gonna have grand old time with a lot of this before it goes to council as a whole for overall appropriations and all that. But, yeah, let's.
And once we get this schedule done, you're gonna play a big part, because you gotta tell us how we're gonna pay for all this stuff.
That's right.
All right.
Yep.
You gotta come up with money.
Where it comes out of.
Yep.
Because they're ideas until we actually have money to pay for them.
Yep.
So, okay.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm off my soapbox now.
Did you have anything else that you wanted to add?
No.
Okay.
No.
Then, you want to move on to the
Oh,
next?
I forgot, I had more things.
Yep.
Just this one. The health department presentations, I do have Safa from Wood County Health Department coming down August 11th, so next Tuesday, for a food accessibility presentation. I have asked them to do this because of the closing of our grocery store. I want to make sure that council is aware of what they know, but also food accessibility in the area and how that is affecting our residents, basically. So that's next Tuesday, and then just coming back again for September 8th for an active transportation plan presentation. So basically, they had grant money, they used it, used what's called pool design, and Mason and I have been working with both parties, since I've been here basically. The walk audit, the bike audit, all that comes from this, basically, this program. So, yeah, I just wanted to give you guys a heads up on those. And what other projects am I forgetting about here? Anything?
I just like all your projects.
You like them all?
Well, I like them. Oh, can I throw out one more thing? I'm sorry.
Yes, please.
I forget to tell everyone. BG Independent News, which I read online today, had a thing about their downtown beautification program. A release from the city of Bowling Green, who they awarded, what dollar amounts, and what for. So it was really interesting to read that. I think the biggest dollar amount one I might saw was just slightly over $10,000. And they said that the program's a lot of $2,000, $3,000, painting, all kind of stuff. So it was an interesting read, and then kind of talked in how much they still have left to award, things like that. So
Didn't you include that in our packet, Mason? It seems like I read that.
I did
Everything
send
is-
you the link, I believe. I think
Okay.
the all council link, but it might have been in a different article, an older
Okay.
article, I believe.
Because I
okay,
remember
this was
reading
fresh
that,
as of today.
Oh.
Yeah.
On the BG
I think
Independent.
I saw
so
it today.
Okay.
Yeah, current. I always read because they're free news site there, BG. So yeah, read that today. So it was very
Well, if
good
you
read for
see
everybody.
it, then please make sure you read over that to see if there's anything that we want to add.
Okay. All the stuff that it was paying for seems like things that we talked about. A
Right.
lot of cleaning
I
of
did-
surfaces, repainting, things like that.
I did have Mason add the wording up to 40,000, just because then we can decide how much we want to
Yep.
to cover. Also, I think that covers us, that if they get a contractor that says it's, 80,000, and there's another contractor that says it's, 50,000, then we only have to go with two.
I don't even know that, I think we talked about this a little bit, I don't even know that any of that matters. Somebody could give us an $80,000 bid for something, we could talk about it as a team and be like, we'd be glad to contribute $10,000 to your
And
program.
that may be true, but if we have a program written out there, legally, I think we might be able to be held to that. That if we don't put the right wording in there, that's why I wanted to go to Bob to make sure that we've got ourselves covered, because sometimes wording can get us in trouble legally. So it's like, I just wanna make sure that we're wording things properly, that
Yeah.
gives us the flexibility to do what we need to do.
Once council agrees to the wording as is right now, we'll get it to Bob and confirm. and-
Right, so if you'll look over that and then
Okay.
let them know if you agree, same with everyone else, look over it, see if there's anything else that you want added to it, so they can get it off to Bob, because I know Bob's got a lot to go over of ours, so.
Yeah.
It's just one more document he has to get to by next Tuesday if we're gonna get it passed, so, anyhow. All right, anything else, Josh?
I'm done talking.
Done talking, okay.
I'm out of water.
Any questions for Josh? No, I didn't think so, Justin, what do you have for us?
So there are 3 contracts that'll be at next week's meeting. I don't know quite what the,
Protocol?
protocol is, yeah, for contracts of if I have to bring every single one and for what instances and everything like that. But there is an electric, there's, where am I sticking it there? There it is. There's an electric contract, an auditor contract, and a,
Audit. Right.
an audit contract?
Wasn't it? With
Yeah.
Charles.
I think it
I
probably
can keep
depends.
talking longer if you.
Well, I think it depends on how much it is, right? Certain contracts under a certain amount, I mean, we're usually informed, but we don't have to do anything with them. Is that correct, Josh? Anything under?
I defer to legal counsel.
Well, and then there was,
I overkill it, like last year, I probably did a lot more than, I think it's safer to have a legislation, you know, for all contracts, basically.
More paperwork for Josh.
Yeah.
Well, and then I talked with Laura, last week, and she said something that they used to do, which they might still do, but she said they used to, is like a blanket, basically approving, say, up to a certain amount, you can sign the contracts that are needed by the village.
And we have that with Josh. I guess I just want the stipulation that if we were to do that, that it still comes to council for us to be informed.
Well, that's
Yeah.
where I'm sort of my head around, because we have our current purchase policy from 2022, and again, it goes back to what I sent you before, to see if we can somehow work this out, and then council as a whole work it out, but because there's some ambiguity that I don't understand, because there's competitive bidding, obviously the ORC, there's professional services and those rules, and then you have, what we have is like $50,000, which I think was the old competitive bidding for construction, and I don't really know what my authority is. That's why I'm so careful just going through the legislation.
Right now, I
That's
do
the other
believe,
thing.
I believe it's 50,000, wasn't it, Tim? That we had, that you can sign contract up to 50,000 without legislation approval. But it was verbally said that we
Yeah.
want to be informed.
Right,
when
right,
anything
which-
was gonna, be signed, period.
I see to have this all in very direct wording in our purchase policy, basically, because right now I don't think it gives me much. $50,000, I think, is just a reference to competitive bidding threshold that was in 2022, which is now 79,000. So if I were to go off of that, there's no, it's not 50,000, you're referencing competitive bidding, so I'm going off of that, not 50,000 number. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I know we had also talked about lowering that back down because it was raised.
We gotta talk, basically.
Right. So we might want to address that.
Well, and then there's the contracts that are like very reoccurring of the electric contractor, the supplier, that's going to expire, will want a new one of,
I think
it's just what electric costs, basically.
I think a good thing is if there's a significant amount of money being spent every year, like a multi-year contract, I think that in most cases that would need legislation. Again, every village solicitor plan is different opinion.
Right, you know,
We have a task order for engineering for water, for example, but it's already appropriated. Can I just go forward with it? It's under, 40,000 or something, or 60,000? I don't even.
for a contract, to sign a contract?
A task order for money already appropriated.
Well, like I said.
I'm still going to, but.
Right, I mean, legally, yes, you can, because we've approved that. But, again, council wants to know about it, so.
I'll let you guys know regardless. That'd be
Right.
very transparent, but your thoughts may not be the same as the rest of council when it comes to specific.
But we passed that,
nitty-gritty.
that should be legislation somewhere. We passed that back, do you remember that? Back in-
2022 ordinance purchase policy?
Mhm.
Yeah, then going back to that, I don't.
Then let's
It's
get
too
that,
ambiguous.
let's get that at next month's meeting, so we can go over it and see if we need to update anything. If we need to amend it, then we will, to make it more clear.
Well, I've already made a bunch of amendments, unofficial amendments, obviously, for the future lexical approval in the fall, 2027 even later.
Who's this fall under, Mr. Bozak or Mr. Richmond?
I would think it's under Richmond,
Okay.
finance.
Yeah, I think between September and October, needs to have a committee meeting to discuss this stuff.
You'd probably wait a little longer.
Yeah, I think we have to,
Eventually, yes.
yes, and get all this mapped
Completely
out, so we're not,
Completely agree.
so you feel clear what your guidance
Yes.
is.
Mhm.
Yes.
You're not getting your hands slapped by anyone, and you can do your job.
I'm overcompensating with these extra.
I know.
pieces of
That
legislation.
actually probably should be on the Bozak, because it's purchase policy.
Let's
Combine them.
get those two to have a combined
Yeah.
meeting together.
Yeah.
If people have interest, come and we'll work it out.
But
Well,
it's
then,
been
and I don't know
making
that
sense.
the wording's in there, to be honest with you, that, council has to be informed. I don't think that wording's in there, and I think for future council, we should have that wording in
It's
there.
more of a formality or a courtesy at the very least, but
But if
I'm not
it's,
against
if
it
it's
being
in there, if
verbatim.
it's in the resolution, then it's gonna have to be done, and I can't go, oh, I forgot, or I didn't do that, sorry, let's get that done.
Yep, something for future discussion, but
Is there anything
again,
else?
this is gonna be included into our lexical policy, purchase policy manual. Right now, it's a standalone document outside of the manual, so I'm kind of bringing it in
Mhm.
and making it one.
Okay.
So for the electric contract, I can't give a price, because that fluctuates daily, of how much it's going to cost per kilowatt of watt, or.
Is this the supply agreement through AAP? Because we
This
talked
one-
about this
Thank you.
last year.
Well, thank you very much.
Around this time too.
This will be the supplier that supplies through AEP. So.
Yeah.
Can we not shop for other suppliers?
Well, and that's the thing is, it could be any supplier, it's who's willing to pay the best price, and that fluctuates daily. So I can't really give a supplier, and I can't really give
You mean
a
the offer,
price.
until you lock it in, it fluctuates, it doesn't fluctuate daily after you lock it in?
No, it will be fixed
Right.
for the certain time period that the contract's for. But I can't present a price per kilowatt, because by the time we meet next Tuesday at 5:30, it's going to be different come 9 AM. So, that's.
We had this last year.
So can we authorize him next Tuesday to lock us in when we get a good price? When do you have to have that locked in by?
We are off contract right now.
Okay, so what are we
This-
paying right now, do you know?
About 11 cents per kilowatt, and fixed pricing is about 8 cents.
Right,
So
and I
that
think
adds
that's
up
about
to
as
about
best as you can
80
get, because we
grand a
just
year.
changed ours, and I think eight was the best we could get as
Yeah.
well.
And then,
Is there any penalty or anything like that if you change, or any?
no, and so the conflict there is half are still on a supplier, the other half have fallen off. So of how we want to align those to get them all on the same contract, that's going to get us the best pricing. Whether it's 12 months now, or 24 and then 12 on the next one, but if we line all of them up, we'll get the best price because we'll have the most usage. And that's how they price you out, is the more you use, the better they'll offer.
Did you ever find out if we did legislation on this last time around?
I couldn't find anything.
I don't think we ever did. Like, we
I don't-
talked
No,
about
I remember
about-
Matt talking about this, and we just renewed whatever we had last year, the AAP like supply agreement.
Yeah, in January, the half were signed, the other half fell off. So from January to now, we've been paying market. which
I'm
has been very.
on board with you getting all the village stuff best
Yeah.
rate, and
Right.
Yeah.
let's just do it.
So does he need, I don't.
No,
think
I don't think you
legislation,
need- no.
Just when you get a good price and it's gonna work out for us, cause 11 is crazy, and
Yeah.
right now.
Well, and energy has been off the charts this
Right.
year, so.
Right, and so the longest period you can lock us in for too is also what we're
Yeah.
gonna look for, so, we'll do it.
Okay. And then the other,
Council needs to be involved with
Okay.
negotiating electric rates for the village, that's.
all right, I'll present what I signed, like contract-wise of what
Great.
we're on. And then there's the audit contract, which I found out this morning, we need to have a 1-year audit instead of our normal biannual audit for 2025, because we received so much federal funding in 2025 that it's federal law that they have to have a single-year audit to see what we did with that money.
East Broadway reconstruction was over $1 million.
In the Water Street Bridge.
Yeah. that
Was-
So what do you have to do for that, just schedule it, and then they come in and audit, or what do you?
They will come in and audit as soon as possible, because 2025 was supposed to be done by the end of June. But, of course, we weren't notified at all by anyone until today.
Oh, welcome to the finance world, and getting your first audit.
Yep.
I believe we have had legislation in the past to go
Yes.
into agreement with Charles, whatever it is.
And, so it's for an extension, so it will be for this one audit, and the next coming biannual audit. So in 2028 will be our last audit we legally can do with Charles without going to the bid process again. And then,
Tell them the great news about the money we don't have for this.
so, and that is a discussion on how we want to split it. Cause currently we don't have, there are 3 accounts, or 3 funds that have auditing services, like appropriation amounts. And there's not enough for this, but it also depends on how we want to split it between funds. Obviously, this will be an audit for all the departments, if we want to split it that way, or if it's just going to come out of, say, the clerk budget, or, however. So that's a discussion I wanted to have with April. She was out today and tomorrow, but of how we
I'm
want
a
to
bit
split that.
confused on that.
We were not expecting this audit. We were not expecting.
Not
And that's
So what do you
all
mean
right.
we don't have,
We have to pay for the auditor.
Yeah.
and how much is that?
It's like a
It's
unfunded mandate, basically, that
It
we went
is
over $1
going
million,
to
so
be-
we have to get audited.
just over 16,000 for the 1 year, and then it'll be about 19,500 for the biannual audit in total. But we weren't expecting an audit till 27, so it wasn't appropriated this year, or budgeted for,
Okay,
because we've always done biannual.
gotcha, okay.
But this is,
The water department involved with the audit? That's what I think of, like a separate budget, right?
Yeah, so water and sewer have auditing budgets, and the general fund has an auditing budget.
Now we know, in like, for the SCBG for South Main, that's going to be over $1 million of federal funding. We're gonna know, hey, when this happens, we should be
Budgeting
appropriating
for it.
more money for another audit if it doesn't already fall within that every 2 years, I would think. We'll probably knock it off within that.
So we're gonna have to appropriate it out of the general fund?
Well, and what we could do is with each fund has contractual, services as a account number. We can use that for some of the other accounts, cause this will be an everything audit. It's going to be pretty deep into each department for everything.
And how much do you have for that?
That is going to be 70 hours, or $70 an hour for approximate, or a max 230 hours, which is $16,100 total.
But how much do we have? for
Yeah, you
it
said we
already?
had some in some other.
We
account.
have just about, or between $9,000 and $10,000 currently in those accounts. Whereas if we use the other contractual, services accounts for, say, street department, and split it between all of the other different departments that will be involved, then we can
cover it?
cover it, yeah.
And that's legal to do, we can pull from those accounts because
Yeah,
it's gonna
because
be
this
on
would be
audit.
a contractual service.
Is that gonna then put them short when their audit would have come up? Like if we know like we have a biannual audit, so we put this much away this year and this much away this year to meet this goal, and then we take that, are we gonna not have enough when we're supposed to be audited?
But aren't they I thought.
We won't be audited again until 28, so we'll have time to budget and set those funds aside if, yeah.
Okay.
So do we need to have legislation in order to reappropriate that, or you can just pull from those? Do we need to?
It is a talk I wanna have with April about how
Okay.
we should split it, but and shouldn't need any appropriations.
We just found out about this today, so I'm
Yes.
running around trying to.
Because it was,
And then we'll know the schedule on how to budget moving forward past this year.
yes, because I had the biannual audit in this, and I had Mason change it today. And then there's assessments, and so that's also something I wanted to discuss, so are we keeping the community assessments the exact same? Or are we upping or downing?
For like sidewalks and stuff, or what are you talking
So
about?
there's the tree assessment, the street lighting, street cleaning assessments, those are community-wide of anyone who lives in the community, that comes out of their taxes, and then we receive those funds. to
You
do
said,
that.
street lighting, tree, and what was the other one?
Street cleaning,
Clean.
and then there's mowing and utilities, but those are
I-
on an individual basis.
I feel like there needs to be a, like COI increase on those, right? Cause to remove a tree doesn't cost the same year to year, like, everything is more expensive, there needs to, whatever that consumer index percentage is I feel like that's what we need to go up on those every year.
Round it up.
Yeah, I mean, if it's, I don't know if it's 2%, whatever, like,
Yeah, I can figure that out.
it just can't be flat year after year, cause.
Yeah.
I think it has been.
Yeah, and it probably, again, yeah, just like everything here, it's, we keep it the same and then we're way behind. I don't know, I think that we should look into,
So currently, the tree assessment is bringing in $22,000 a year. So if we want to bring that up, we would go up from there. Street lighting is at $78,000 a year, and street cleaning is at $86,000 a year.
But that's what we have in there, what are we spending? Is that what we're spending?
No, that's what we receive every year from residents' taxes.
And so of that, what are we spending?
Those always run a surplus.
I don't think anything costs the same year to year. My taxes don't, like,
The
nothing.
street
Sidewalk costs.
Cleaning,
Yeah.
I think is we're saving too for
Yeah, currently.
the next street
Yep,
Okay.
Yeah, about 15,000 a
Which-
year
vacuum, whatever.
for street cleaning assessment goes towards the new street sweeper, which will be a future expense, which is pretty expensive.
I think the lighting should increase for sure. I think that one, that cost keep going up. I think
Well,
we should
let's-
decrease that
And,
one.
and that's a decision for council of, I
Right,
can
right.
bring that next week of what does 2%, 3%, 4% look
Yeah.
like an increase for
all,
those.
I
And
just
what
looked it
we're
up, the consumer
currently
price
spending.
index right now on all items, June 2026, year over year is 3.5%.
3.5%.
Yeah, so look into that history, and I think we need to go off that, and it needs to just be across
All right.
the board. 'cause-
Well, and I would like to know, what we spent the last 2 years on each one of these. I understand them
All
are
right.
different, but I don't have a clue
Yep,
what we spent, so.
Yep,
If
I will bring that with me next week.
Because you had said, I believe last month, that you wanted to combine some of these or do away with some of these assessments.
That was only in, the income tax stuff, that was only.
Well, but I don't, if you're still thinking of that next year, I would not be in favor of that. So.
I just want to get rid of redundancy and have other reasons too, but yeah.
Right, but I just think we
Good
should
discussion.
keep these things separate
yeah.
and.
Yeah, and I think we need to
Easy
make
keep
sure.
track of.
Yeah, and we need to make sure, when we know what that dollar amount is, we challenge our department heads if we're getting $78,000 a year for lighting, that I mean, that has to be spent in that year, right?
No.
No, it does not have to, it rolls over.
Okay, so it builds up.
Sidewalk, I
Yeah,
can
it's
easily
just
spend
like the
that.
general fund.
I got you, okay.
I can easily spend the
I wanna
sidewalk.
make sure residents were getting our money's worth on things.
Yeah.
If we got it, let's spend it and improve some stuff.
We've torn down a lot of trees this year.
Yeah, good.
And I've already spent.
So to pay for these audits, you're pulling from these accounts, is that what I understand? The extra?
Not these.
No,
Oh.
these are the assessments.
Okay,
Separate.
so what account are you pulling?
That's what we're getting
from?
from real estate taxes is the
Like the
assessment.
street,
Yeah.
the water, the,
When you look at your real estate taxes, it has those little line items in there.
Gotcha, okay.
And then there's the mowing assessment and the utility assessment, but I won't have those exact figures. We are sending collections notices out, whether it's a call or a mail, to be by September 1st, which just won't be passed until the September meeting. But it's paid by September 1st, or these will go on your taxes. And, yep, and that's when I'll have the final number.
And we need to make sure the services for that too are increasing year over year, that percentage too, what we're charging people for mowing and everything else.
I wonder
Okay.
if we amended legislation to just automatically put those increases in there.
Yeah, cause you can just do the
It's a whole lot
consumer
of-
price index
Yeah.
every year,
No.
and if it's 3.5%, you do it across.
Well, yes, but we could, but the thing is, we have to approve this every year anyway, so we just do it.
Yeah.
We just don't have to put it in words.
But your finance, does what I'm saying make sense? Like,
Yes.
we should be putting that,
Right.
this
Well, and
account
then we'll probably need like a bottom on that, because we wouldn't want that to go any lower than a certain percentage if we're willing to move it each year. So say compute. or
I think the way it's
consumer
world, I
price
don't think we
index.
have to worry about that.
Yeah,
being,
so-
like,
It'd be in the whereas.
It's never gonna be negative. I can see that.
Probably in the whereas, whereas council wants to do a 3.5 increase every year, and that's not provision, it's just like, yeah. So future councils will know. So we're doing.
Okay. Anything else?
That's all I had.
All right, well, if there's any questions for Justin, then the mayor's not here, I don't think he has anything.
Well, I guess we can talk about the special meeting he wants to have regarding the drug enforcement with council. I'm not sure if council wants to call that. I'll just need for you guys to determine that technically, or the mayor can just do it. But do we want to talk about that now, or do we want to schedule that? Which Tuesday?
It has to be the 3rd or 4th for the chief's
You don't give
schedule.
us times in that text, but
I mean,
Well, the earliest would be probably 4:30 because
Yeah.
of council members being able to be here, so,
I'm free either Tuesday at 4:30.
I am gone on the 25th, so
Okay.
the 18th would work better for me, if that would work for everyone else.
Works for me.
okay.
18th?
You want me to just text the mayor and Bingham to see what time works best for them on the 18th, basically, and go from there?
Well, like I said, I think the earliest we can make it is 4:30, because Eric won't be able to be here. I know Dave
I shouldn't forget
works,
that
you know.
anyways. Okay, that sounds good. I'll tell the mayor, we want to do August 18th at 4:30, can you just confirm?
Is the 18th at 4:30?
That's okay,
work?
or we can just
Yep.
say, hey, council's doing it 4:30 to 18th. I mean,
10, 4:30 work.
Well, as long, I mean, Bingham's the important one to have here.
Right.
Right.
We have a lot of questions for him and want his opinions, so if he can make it, we can make it.
Can you make that, Mason? Okay, that's everything.
This meeting is adjourned.
That did exhaust you.
I'm exhausted. I'm already looking forward to the 40 things or whatever you're gonna have us read. Somebody
We
might
did the
warn
ADA match, we had.
the mayor that he better bring a
They were
process
getting
to read all it.
At this point, unless there's some deficiencies that come up within the next 2-3 years, we'll probably leave those alone and just go around them.
you kept taking your pen apart.
For what else, there we go, those are brand new.
I wondered.
Yeah.
It just, it
Yeah.
looks
There's problems.
Those things, those ADA acts were like, they were
Big
big
problems.
facts.
Oh, I know.
We had to do
Unscrewing your pen.
right then.
And then you're
I
going
was
to.
just wondering.
Oh, we do, like,
I sit here and
I am
Good question.
surrounded by ADHD children all the time, so.
Hi.
Huh?
I have ADHD.
Because he,
I was just playing with my my
Yeah.
pen the entire time.
that right there. I'll bring you some, but
You're in blue?
these are blue. They're blue ink.
Oh, I mean blue, like
Yeah.
shiny purple.
No, I wouldn't give him a purple one. I love my purple.
Okay.
All right, we'll see you guys later.
See ya.
Have a good day.